Darling, pass the salt, please. I need an answer, Chris. Dear friends, let's talk. These are all examples of the vocative in English. A vocative is when you show who a question or instruction is directed to. And there are some special things that you need to be aware of to be able to use the vocatives at an advanced level of English. And I'm going to teach you them here. Here's a simple example. Do you have a friend who likes showing off, like this one here? This friend might say to me, Rupert, watch me. Watch me do this incredible trick. And this is a simple example of the vocative. They use my name, so that's the noun, the person you are addressing, then a verb infinitive, and then another noun afterwards. Rupert, watch me. But we could also switch the order. We don't have to have Rupert first. I could come last. Watch me, Rupert, infinitive noun, and then the person who you are addressing. And remember that comma between the person you're addressing and the rest of the statement. Imagine someone throws this ball towards you. What would they say to warn you? They might say, catch this, Rupert. Here we have the same vocative construction, but a slight difference because here we have the infinitive followed by a determiner and then the person you are addressing. Similarly, what happens when you need to sign a form? You ask someone, where do I sign? And they might reply saying, sign here, Rupert. And here is an example of an adverb. So this shows the variety of language that you can use after the infinitive in a vocative. But vocatives are not always imperatives. What's an imperative? An imperative is where you have the verb in its infinitive form starting the clause, like an order. You could also extend them into questions with a modal, such as this one. Would you sign here, Rupert? Notice that there's no change in the verb here. Sign is the infinitive form. In some languages, there is a special tense for the vocative, but not in English. Just use the infinitive. Rupert, sign here. What does this literally mean? It literally means the person told Rupert to sign here. Rupert, when in this form, means I'm speaking to you, Rupert. I say your name so you know it's addressed to you. And sign here literally means you must sign here. It's an order. We can have another interjection before the vocative as well. Not just Rupert, sign here. We could say, OK, Rupert, sign here. So OK is the interjection. Or, oh, pupil, wake up. I might say this in my mind in a classroom if I feel a pupil or student is being sleepy. I won't actually say it. Or, hey Brenda, look out, if you can see something flying towards Brenda. Hey is an interjection just to get her attention. Now, when I teach, sometimes students have questions for me, and it's common for me to hear something like this. Rupert, my teacher, tell me what to study. Here we've got two names, Rupert and my teacher, and this is called a stacked vocative. And this is when you can have two addresses to the same person in the same vocative expression. Notice again that the commas are important. The two phrases to refer to the same person, they're both referring to me, are both separated by commas. We can use you in a very informal way with a vocative. You, come here. I might say that when I'm telling someone off in the class, when I'm in charge and the other person has to do what I say. We might also use it with a group you lead in a casual atmosphere. You can go first. But be careful when you use you at the beginning of a vocative. If you don't use it in the right context, it could sound rather rude. What about multiple vocatives? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is very common too. We don't just use one name, but we have a series of names we use to address everyone. Now, we also have something called pet names in English. Those are the names we use to show that we are affectionate towards someone, that we love someone, that they're close. And I used darling at the beginning of the video. Husbands and wives, or two people in a very close relationship, might call each other, particularly in England, darling. Darling, pass the salt, please. And darling replaces their real name. It's an affectionate, loving name. We can call it a pet name. Titles can make your vocative more formal. So instead of saying Rupert here, I could say Mr. Smith. I would like to invite you to our annual dinner. And by using Mr. and the surname, it just makes the vocative more formal. Here's some other words and phrases you can use to make your addresses more formal or less formal. Sir, I would like to invite you to our annual dinner. That's formal. Also, madam, maybe guest, teacher and professor are formal ways of addressing the person who teaches you. But we also have informal alternatives as well. Mate, I would like to invite you to our annual dinner. That's really informal in the UK. Only use it with someone you know really well and have a good, friendly, joking relationship with. You could also say, I'd like to invite you to our annual dinner, pal. That's informal as well. In the USA, but also increasingly in other parts of the English-speaking world, we use buddy or bud. What are you doing today, bud? And in the UK, we have a whole range of informal titles that we can give people that are less formal. Hello, boss. Hi, lad. What are you doing, geezer? And these words all refer to a person, but in an informal way. And notice here that boss does not necessarily mean manager. It just means another person. It's informal, but slightly respectful at the same time. Now we can address whole groups of people with other special words, such as here. I need to tell you some important news, folks. Who are folks? Folks is just a group of people. And again, we have formal ways of addressing groups and informal ways. Formal ways are guests. I need to tell you some important news. If you want to be really formal and polite, you could say, esteemed colleagues. I need to tell you some important news. Fellow citizens, meaning we're all together in the same way as equal people. Delegates is often used at a conference. Or citizens, and comrades could be used to mean good friends all with the same cause. We have informal terms too. Folks is an informal term for a group of people. But we could also say crew or everyone, team, guys, even gang. Gang is particularly informal. Someone is sometimes used to mean one of many. Look at this picture here. Someone has just arrived. They shake hands with the most important person in the room. And they reply saying, show the new members around, someone. What that really means is, any one of the people can follow my instruction. I'm giving an instruction and this is aimed to everyone and I just want one person to do it. It's usually fairly informal, but you may hear managers in a company doing this at times. If you're managing a group of people, you might want to have a range of vocatives one after the other. Rose, prepare the food. Jane, set the table. Sarah, polish the chairs. It's a way of organising what people do. And one final thing to note, sometimes the name can come in the middle. It's not very common. In a sentence like this, the name could come in the middle. That, Rupert, was amazing. But it doesn't feel particularly natural. It's probably best to keep it at the beginning or the end in terms of the name of the person you're addressing. So that's the vocative in English. And you can learn so much more about Advanced English with my course, Advanced English Grammar for C1 or C2. This course answers the questions that people most commonly ask when they're trying to get to a C1 or C2 advanced level of English. It's got lessons and practice opportunities and PDFs for every teaching point on the course. You could join this course right now. It's online. You can start today. Click in the link in the video description below me.